the hell? Yep, I'm back. You already know. So, what do I want to talk about today? We're gonna have to cue that intro. Yep, the intro is full of loud-ass wind, because it's winter in New York, and if you're not familiar with winter up north, in places like New York, it's like Category 1 hurricane season, like, for 4 months out of the year. So that's what we're dealing with. So I'm going to talk a little bit louder, a little clearer than usual, because usually I stumble over my words. Usually I don't talk as loud as I should, but this one I'm going to talk a little bit louder to try to compensate for the disturbing sounds called wind. Alright, I want to talk about ego. Yes, ego. There's a reason I want to talk about ego, and the problem here is that I have a lot of subscribers that are truck drivers, which sucks, because this drastically reduces the IQ of my subscribers. And I want people to hang with me when they talk about things. Like Elvis Presley said, you know, people call you crazy if you talk about things that they don't understand. Well, it's quite true. People are stuck in their bubbles, and people don't understand balance. And I think the main priority of this video is to explain balance to you. Most specifically, in the realm of ego. Some people think ego's bad, you're egotistical. Well, that could be bad, yes. Ego can also be good. There should be a balance to one's ego. And I think it has to be in a balance which is healthy. Not something that is imbalanced, not something that shifts often, but something that's in balance and kept in check. Equilibrium, we'll put it that way. It's an equilibrium with what's around you and what your understanding of life is and what you understand of yourself. Now, we all enjoy seeing, let's say, the guy who caught the touchdown pass to win the game, to be a little humble, right? We enjoy this. Why do we enjoy that? Well, when we see somebody win a UFC fight or whatever the case, and we see them get to that point, we know it's hard work, we know it wasn't easy, but they stayed humble. This is beautiful because this means that they have balance. They have put in the ego work, and then they want to balance it out with being humble. This makes you separate from just the asshole that's just constantly going, egotistical, selfish. Now, I've also made videos on being selfish, at least one that I dive deep into just the realm of being selfish, and that also you need a balance with that too, because selfishness can be good or bad, depending on use, depending on position in your life, but you need a balance. You need to know when to be selfish and when to help others, etc. Now, when you're humble, this separates yourself, and it's very hard to separate yourself from the ego, because the ego is so important in your life. It's literally like in your evolution, it's been necessary to have your ego. Now, my ego is pretty big, all right, but I gotta constantly keep it in check, because I know there's people better than me in a lot of aspects in life. So when you saw that I said something early in this video, a lot of truck drivers watch my content, and that drives down IQ. That's the truth, right? Now, that doesn't lift me up. It's not like I'm saying I'm 30 IQ points above the average truck driver. I'm not saying that. Now, I could say that, and I do say that, but I always have to keep that in check, because honestly, that's a pretty shitty thing to do, and you want to be in balance. You want to be in peace, and being in peace isn't being overly egotistical or in terms of being too humble. So there's also people that we like, we enjoy, that are very egotistical. Look at Mike Tyson in his prime, talking all types of shit. We enjoyed that. Muhammad Ali did a bunch of that. and then he had to learn to humble himself. The guy nowadays, Conor McGregor, we love the shit talk. We love the egotistical craze, and it's very healthy for him, and it reduces the opponent's ability to be powerful, because that separates that person from being as egotistical or as powerful as they should be, because it takes them out of their comfort zone. What did I say about that comfort zone? That's when you're in equilibrium. So Conor McGregor, we enjoy watching him become crazily egotistical, but then he loses in a realm that he isn't the best in, and he fought in the boxing realm versus Floyd Mayweather Jr. Right after that fight, he's still egotistical. He's still a millionaire. He is a 9-digit fighter now. He has $100 million in the bank, makes a lot of money, but he lost that fight. Apologize for this wind. He lost that fight, and right afterwards, instead of saying, being humble, he said, and I want you to watch this now, because it's very selfish and egotistical. He said something along the lines of, wow, I made it into the 10th round with this guy. I made it into this round against this guy. So, under the radar to the average mind says, oh, he kind of humbled out. No. This was his way of still boosting him up in his ego. So, just like anything else, ego, what goes up must come down. It can be draining on someone. So when your ego starts being drained, like let's say you just got beat in a boxing match against, well, it doesn't matter if he's the best fighter in the world ever or not, TBE, the best ever or not, well, what happened? He wants to say that he did well against this. So he has to replenish his ego after it was dramatically drained after a loss. Immediately after, he had to start putting that back in. However, where Conor McGregor fails, especially in the long run, yeah, his ego got him to this point. And yes, he has had humble talks after his fights, like press conferences and stuff. He has had a humbleness to him when he fought Nate Diaz and lost. Oh, quite a big humbleness to him. But it's so rare because he doesn't want that. What he wants is to replenish the ego and get his testosterone back up, etc. And start putting himself in the mindset of, I did this, look at what I accomplished, I'm great. Me. Now you see this also in Donald Trump. This huge ego that's actually paying off. Now, Donald Trump. I saw this on the Joe Rogan Experience. I haven't seen the actual video, but he was playing a Donald Trump video with Whitney Cummings, which is an awesome comedian as well. And they were listening to Donald Trump constantly say, I'm the best at this, I'm the best at that. And the one that got me was like 4 times, like there's like 100 things that Donald Trump is better than everyone else at. I'm better than this, I'm better than that. My favorite one was, he says, nobody loves the Bible more than me. And I fucking died laughing, so did Joe Rogan. And I'm just fucking dying laughing because what the fuck is wrong with your ego? You probably never read the Bible all the way through, yet you love it more than anybody. People that fucking dedicate their actual lives to the fucking book, or Bible, which is a group of books. And he says, nobody loves the Holy Bible more than I do. What the fuck is wrong with your ego? So what happens with Donald Trump as well? High horse, becomes a huge businessman, makes hundreds of millions of dollars into the billions. You know, just very successful in his life. Becomes president, has made tons of money, very successful. His kids don't have to worry about ever spending enough money. They're set their own lives pretty much too, as long as they keep the businesses going. The generational wealth is fucking dramatic. It's extraordinary. But there's also flaws, right? Just like Conor McGregor isn't ever going to humble himself and learn completely from his mistakes. Well, Conor McGregor just taking some time off. He might never fight Tony Ferguson or Khabib or whoever else is running up on that division that are young and hungry, that can probably easily take Conor. He ain't even think about that no more. Get rid of his belt. He ain't even gonna fight. Because people see some flaws in his game, and I don't think that he's ready to ever humble himself and get better. Yeah, Conor McGregor is an amazing athlete, amazing in types of his skill level and his abilities, his natural abilities and skill set. He's very good at what he does. Don't get me wrong with what I'm saying here, but he can improve dramatically, can be the best ever. But he's not going to make himself the best ever. Why? He's not humble enough. He's never going to be the best ever. Muhammad Ali became the best ever because he humbled himself. Now, let's go back to Donald Trump. Donald Trump completely lying to people. That's how crazy delusional his ego is. Nobody loves the Bible more than me, says Donald Trump, who bombs fucking other countries in the school of that. I just don't get it. Love all people, but you know what? This country might have a terrorist, so we can't let them into the country. Like, his ego has sprouted to a point where he's never humbled himself. He has never been humbled. When he won the presidency, he looked like he already knew he won. Like, it's me, I'm Donald Trump. Of course I won. And I wasn't going to win by that old hag that's my, like, 23rd cousin, you know, called Hillary Clinton. If you guys didn't know, they're, like, very distant cousins on the tree. But anyways, let's dive back into the ego thing. Now, if you remain balanced, that's healthy. Now, look at the people around you that are too humble, right? They never achieve an extreme amount of wealth. The people that are just humble never experience huge amounts of wealth, huge amounts of love in their life. Well, I'm going to revert that one. I actually know a few that actually would apply to that. But there has to be a healthy amount of ego for people to like you, and a healthy amount of humbleness for people to understand you and to enjoy your company, etc. Right? Because if you're just egotistical, you turn that into too much selfishness. It's not a good look, let alone, like I've said in the video, the power of intention. I haven't talked about the power of intention very much lately, but I 100% agree with it because I anecdotally seen this happen. I use this in my day-to-day life. Now, the power of intention isn't what you've heard in the movie The Secret or documentary, whatever you want to call it. It's not the same shit that's in The Secret. That shit's the power of attraction and a lot of other shit, and mainly more woo than actual bait, right? But the power of intention basically is your intention behind something. So if you use your power of intention to manipulate, you can be well-liked or well-hated. But you can use this for your ego. And I totally recommend, if you don't have your third eye open or whatever the case is, that you need to achieve this, to achieve your being able to manipulate not only matter, but everything around you, to consciousness, to manipulate things with your intention. Now, I don't mean fucking you know, using your mind to bend a spoon, which, I'm not going to lie, to some degree, I definitely think that's possible. Have I seen it? No. Have I been able to do it? No. And I'm not going to sit here and say that I do this shit, right? I'm not an idiot, and I'm not going to lie to you guys. But you can manipulate things in reality using your intention, because your intention provides motivation. Your motivation creates drive, and that drive can manipulate that thing that is around you. So that could be your intention to beat the other football team on your team, right? Whoever has the more intention wins, right? Now, the reason this is because, well, let's say the better team is very good. Very good. How do they get very good? Well, what did I say? Intention, motivation, etc., right? And you go down the line, and it just fixes everything. What your intention is your drive, and what your abilities, and what you're doing. So, when you intend on winning the other team, well, you're going to have to go above and beyond. You might have to go beyond your skill set. You might go beyond the peak of your abilities. It can take you to that next step. It's like having an adrenaline rush after you just got hit by a car, and you should be dead, but you're alive still because you're still alive through the adrenaline. It's your intention to see what's going on until you look in the mirror and say, whoa, my brains are fucking halfway out my head, and then you just faint and die. You know, those kind of stories happen all the time. So your intention changes when what you let say has defeated you. So until you know that something defeated you, you're not going to lose. You're going to keep striving and keep going above and beyond. Now, this works with relationships and everything else, but when you apply this specifically to your selfish ego, you got to understand that you can manipulate your ego how you want. Just like right now, I can be happy as fuck, right? And boom, endorphins all over me, right? Because I just chose to be happy. But if you chose to be something else, like sad, like think, oh, my grandpa died 20 years ago. Oh man, he was a good guy, and then you chose to go down that path. And when you choose to go down that path, that's what you're going to get, is the result of your intention going down that path. That's what I'm talking about when I talk about the power of intention. Like, I can go like this. I can think about the Holy Spirit and get it in me instantaneously, because that's what I intended to happen. And once you understand you have this power, you can understand how you can manipulate this power. And I think your ego, if you just try to not separate it from yourself, but control it yourself. So you understand and you put it in the bubble where it's comforting and it's beneficial. So you see LeBron James, he wins a basketball game. He had a lot of ego to win that basketball game. A lot of intention to win that ball game. After, oh, we did great, the other team did great, blah, 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 I'm so humble, thank God, whatever, right? And he has the humble speech. So afterwards, he doesn't have to get clouded with always trying to refill that ego, because he's imbalanced. And that's the type of person that goes above and beyond and spectacular. Conor McGregor is a freak. Donald Trump is a freak in the Matrix. The ways that they have succeeded has destroyed also things in the path that could have made them better. And now, because they haven't been able to ever reach equilibrium, they can never be the best ever. Do you understand what I'm getting at? So you could be better if you add this, the humble aspect to it. So you lower your ego. One thing that I've told you guys before, I made a video on drugs and psychedelics. And I said that I've done everything under the sun. Not in many years, but 10 years ago was about the time when I stopped all that shit. And I do recommend you guys doing mushrooms, psilocybin mushrooms, once in your life. Just once, not twice, and be in a very happy place, and like I say in the video, do it correctly. The reason why I want you to is for two reasons. Expand your mind, which will indefinitely expand your mind. Two, to lose your ego. to understand there is another aspect to life other than feeding your ego. Right? So, men want to just go out and have sex. Feed that ego, feed that ego. But they don't want to take the girl out to eat. Don't want to do this or that for the girl. Don't want to be humble. They just want to feed that ego. That's just an example, obviously. But do some mushrooms, you're going to be empathetic toward that other person. And once you achieve that realm of empathy, you can understand them better. Understand what makes them tick. Realize that you can listen to them and not just hear things to respond. You can listen to understand. So you're going to achieve empathy through the loss of ego, and you can understand more, and you can become more conscious and expand your consciousness. So the key here is to lose your ego, and the easiest way is to go through a huge psychedelic trip. I'm not suggesting to do acid or DMT, or I even tell everyone, don't even smoke weed. That's not what I recommend. Don't even smoke weed. If that's your thing, that's your thing. If you like to become drunk and do your thing, right? I'm not going to tell you not to. But I'm going to tell you the one thing I recommend doing. Mushrooms once. It's going to change everything about you. For the better, not for the worse. So, I didn't want this video to be this long. I didn't know where I was going to take this. As you guys probably already know, I don't know what I'm going to talk about before I make the video. Once I plug it in, I'm like, I think we'll go with ego, because I haven't talked about ego much in my videos. And I definitely want to make a video on ego. I didn't want to dive into various aspects. I just gave you a few examples with, McGregor and Trump. Obviously, McGregor is a great fighter. Donald Trump is very successful in the way that he intended to be successful. But you can manipulate this to become greater. So, Donald Trump, is he a great president? You already know what I'm going to think about presidents. I don't want rulers. Plus, if you know anything about the job of president, which you probably don't, especially being a truck driver. No offense again. Feeding the ego! Yeah, but the job of presidency is not what you think it is. They constantly have advisors to say, hey, be a celebrity here, be a celebrity there, make a speech here, do this, do that. That's all his job is to be a celebrity. His job is not to change the tax codes. His job isn't to do those things. It's his advisor's job to tell him what to do. So yes, he has a boss in the corporation of the United States. And could he fulfill that job better? Sure, he needs to lose the goddamn ego. Do you get this? Conor McGregor would have already came back to fight for his belt if he had humbleness and trained hard. But no, I imagine him snorting coke and getting a little bit of a pot belly. That's what I envision of Conor McGregor at $100 million in his bank account. Because his ego is huge. Massive. But look at the ones who are equal. Equilibrium. A nice dose of ego when needed. A nice dose of humbleness when needed. And able to be manipulated through the power of intention. Look at them. Find them. Look at how well they do. How great that they are to be around. So, that's enough for this video. Hope you guys get something out of it. I know that I talk in riddles and my speechcraft isn't the best, but I hope you guys get something out of it. I'm just pouring out what's in my mind, and it may not be very articulated to perfection, or I'm not a good storyteller. So, just take it for what it's worth, and stay tuned for more content. Plenty more coming. See ya. No, I said see ya!